United Grind Society presents the Turntable, where we discuss everything relevant to hip hop. I'm your host, Haiku, and I'm here with some of my favorite people for the panel. Let's introduce them. So we have Seed from E.com.
Indeed.
We got Speed from Rhyme Royal.
What up? What up?
We got Jinx from United Grind. And we have special guest Vice Souletric from United Grind.
What up?
Yo.
All right.
What up? It's hella late.
Yes, he was. So this episode is brought to you by the latest release from Vice Souletric, The Reality of All People, Trap.
Let's go. Yo. Ezra Gatewood, no middle. Only had to be my ass one time when I was little. Set me straight in the head, following what the kid do. Greatly minimized the trouble I got into. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Make sure you check it out on all streaming platforms. Do that.
Nice video, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate all your support.
Oh, it's dope, man. You definitely it's worthy of praise. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is lyricists versus songwriters. What do we value more? Right? What's more important, maybe to the culture? What do you personally like? I mean, I want to get into it. What are y'all feeling? And first off, I think before we actually can do that, I think we do need to define what we are labeling a lyricist, right? We kind of need to go work on those definitions. Siege, can you break that down for me in your opinion, what you feel a lyricist is as compared to what a songwriter is?
For me, lyricists are bars, heavy. It is the content in which you put within your lyrics and how you structure them. It's basically, if you thought of a MC cipher, people that could get in a cipher and kill the cipher. Those are lyricists, which, is a different skill set than a songwriter.
Okay. All right. Vice, what are your thoughts on that as far as difference between lyricists and songwriters? You have a different definition of the two, or are you riding with that?
Yeah, pretty much rock with his definition as far as a lyricist. It's definitely somebody I've always considered a lyricist who has like the innate ability to be able to convey their thoughts in rhyme form. So I guess maybe I'll steer away a little bit from his definition and refine it to say that it necessarily isn't just about spitting bars that blow your head off, but being just the skill to be able to pick a topic and be able to rhyme about it in a dope fashion, technical fashion, no matter what it is. Story, if you're just talking about anything, if you're just looking at objects, freestyling, that's what I would consider a lyricist. A songwriter, somebody I believe who has the skill to be able to convey a mood or an emotion with a complete body of work. The lyrics, the beat selection, and so forth.
Okay. Well, Speed, I'm coming to you. My question to you would be, what makes a great lyricist, right? If we accept, I could go around the horn, right? And everyone's going to have a little bit of a different definition in regards to lyricist, but let's just assume that we're all around on the same page, maybe different paragraphs, same page, right? So do you have like criteria that you feel is essential for a lyricist to have? Like what are some of the criteria that you would think would make up a lyricist?
I like what Vice said about conveying messages, because with for me with lyricism, it's like, you could think a thought in your head, but can you put it on a page and make it make sense and make it flow and make it rhyme, rhyme in a certain way. And then those special cases, they can do that like extremely creatively with words. You know what I'm saying? So you got different kind of styles and wordplay and all that kind of stuff. We had years and years of different types of lyricists. So for me, it's just like I'm amazed when people are able to get a thought across in a totally unexpected kind of way. Like the most mundane kind of thing can pull it off like really creatively. That's what I look for in my lyrics and stuff like that.
Okay. So Jinx, who do you value more? Because I know you one of our more usually you're pretty opinionated.
Let me answer that for you. I got this.
What do you value more, lyricists or songwriters?
Overall, if I'm going to personally like consider myself a fan of someone's music and consume it regularly, more than likely you are somebody who has a balance of the two. Like a perfect balance. If you tend to have like a perfect balance, like a 50-50, like
And you're the
lyrics,
GOAT.
I mean, to me, you definitely are at that level. And I mean, there are people that I would say that aren't necessarily considered goats, but they do have the innate ability to not only spit but also just create great music, and that goes across to me that goes across a wide spectrum, as far as like good music. Like there's people who know when not to do too much. There's people who know when to pull back and when to like, okay, this is something I need to go hard on, so they can bring those lyrics out at any time. So wordplay is a big part of, I guess, what we consider to be lyricism. And you got a lot of people who are, I guess, considered lyricists, which is the technical definition is just people who write lyrics to a song, but hip hop made it something else. And I think a lot of people, when they think lyricism, they think people who can flip words, real good at wordplay, like Siege said, bars and things like that. So if I'm gonna consider myself a fan of somebody, there's a good even kill, like 60-40, 50-50, either way. Like there's usually that. And I tend to lean towards the songwriter side for good music.
Okay. So Vice, I'm coming to you now because after listening to your project, I think I have an idea of how you would answer that same question. Okay. Lyricists or songwriters, what do you value? What do you value more? And
I
let me
think
preface this by saying this, that I think that I think there's a lot of us that have gone through, and we talk about the episodes where we kind of review music that we missed over the years, right? The bad fan reviews, and how we've gone through phases and kind of like, and we have evolved ourselves, and that can change your opinion of things.
Yeah.
But Jinx just mentioned one of the points where I think is so crucial. He's talking about, if I were to sum it up, talking about replayability, right? The ability to play music throughout time. Does it have replay value in that? And I think when it comes to lyricists and songwriters, I don't know if it's even with that. If you can play lyricist stuff forever, or songwriters, you can play that forever. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that me personally, I lean more toward. I think definitely, like you said, it goes in phases, and I think at this phase in my life, and as far as career with rapping, I lean more towards songwriting because, yeah, I mean, you can have a very good song that has very basic rapping in it if it's done correctly. I'm
Some
not
people
too
make careers out of it.
I think all of us would say, and I definitely bet Siege would agree with this, it takes a lot for me to get impressed by bars, just straight bars at this point. Because so many people have done it. It's very hard, but just the ability to come up with concepts, write songs that touch people. I think that people do that in new and different ways all the time. So I lean more toward the songwriter than the lyricist. But of course, all of us came up under that cloth of lyrics matter. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the bars. You got to be saying something that's entertaining. But right now, I think it's songwriting.
I think the bar thing, lyricism as in bar thing, that's kind of like mood driven. Like everybody, we all had that moment where we like, I want to hear somebody spit. You know what I'm saying? And that don't necessarily have to play out in the structure of a song. Like I want to get on YouTube and I want to hear Crook do a verse or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. You know, necessarily like I don't. You know, most of my favorite
battle or some shit.
Yeah. Most of my favorite songs ain't even really on that like that. Like some of them are, but it is kind of 50-50 thing.
I think though
the balance, man. The balance is it's real.
I think you catch that lightning in a bottle though. Like I think when you catch the lightning in the bottle, it's those guys that can do both. And that's when it sort of pins you back. Like, you know.
Let's talk about those guys.
Man, like Jay-Z,
guys.
Biggie, even Pac. And let me bring this up. I know we have some anti-Pacs here. But so many people say that Pac wasn't a lyricist, but Pac was the ultimate lyricist. If you go by my definition.
What define ultimate?
Being able to convey a mood, being able to drive emotion.
Now listen, we're talking about lyricism. And I'm going to say this and shut up so y'all can talk. We're talking about lyricism. First part of the word is lyrics. You take Tupac's lyrics, you write them down. That can be put in the Smithsonian. Flat out. He has lyrics. Okay. He may not flip them like Royce the 5'9" or even be as entertaining as like a Big L or a Biggie, but Pac is the ultimate lyricist, bro.
So let me say this, and I'm coming to you, Siege, with this, and you can add on to it, piggyback, whatever your comments. So I was thinking about this, and I came up with a statement, right? And I want you to prove it or disprove it. All right. All songwriters are lyricists, but not all lyricists are songwriters. True or false?
False. Songwriters, and there are plenty of people that have the gift of structuring songs well. You know, I mean, because a lot of songwriters, some of them don't even write the whole song, but they're able to construct the song in such a way that it becomes a hit. And lyricists, a lot of times your best lyricists don't make great songs. So, like Jinx and Vice said,
Can we say usually?
A lot of times, a lot of times, great lyricists have trouble writing great songs.
That's always been. Now I'm gonna let you, but that's always been like the argument with the battle rappers, right? You know what I'm saying? For the most part, is most battle rappers can't make music
because they spend 90% of their mental lyrical ability constructing bars. Whereas songwriters, let me take somebody like Mr. Cheeks, Lost Boys, writes great songs. I don't consider him a great lyricist, but he had a way of structuring songs that everybody liked it. Even if you was just looking, just the average person could listen to it and vibe out to it. Gangstar, I don't consider Guru, rest in peace, a phenomenal lyricist, but he structured songs with Primo and they made good songs together. Lyricists, there's very few that I consider elite lyricists that are elite songwriters as well. Like Jay, obviously, is the first example that comes to people's mind. But I think Pun was a phenomenal lyricist, and he even admitted he used the Biggie formula to help make songs. I don't think if he didn't use that formula, he might have had an issue.
Let's reel it from the top. Can y'all hear that shit? Because I'm mad if y'all can hear that shit. All right. Goddamn. Now everybody want to start sending me shit. All right, so let's reel it in from the top 5 conversation or the top 10. Let's talk about like Royce. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who to me started out as a phenomenal lyricist and basically has morphed into this incredible songwriter right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think he has Joe Budden to thank for that. It feels like almost every great lyricist has somebody to thank for becoming a great. He owes Joe Budden that. He'll probably tell you that if he was in a room with him, because Joe Budden
never even thought of that.
He had songs called Mute. His projects were called Mood Music.
Mood music. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Joe's philosophy on music was music is what feelings sound like. And once Royce was able to do that, because you notice all of Royce's latest projects have been real personal. So he's taking
That's a
lyrics
hot-ass take right there, buddy.
and putting it into his personal life. And people feel that. People feed off of that. And he's making great songs now.
Okay.
Same thing as Pun. Like Pun owed a lot of his stuff to Biggie. Pun even said, I took Biggie's blueprint and ran with it. So a lot of your great lyricists, you know, have a mentor that helped them. Eminem wouldn't be the same without Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre helped structure a lot of his lyricism into great songs.
And then,
I think Eminem had it in him, you know, from the beginning, because a lot of like his early work wasn't necessarily mood based, but he definitely keyed into, you know, his storytelling and his ability to kind of his convey. And I think Dre definitely just helped to take it to another level.
I agree with that.
For sure.
I agree with that.
And then I think too, when you're talking about songs, like, you know, you're talking about the element of the artist, the producer, and then you're talking about the hook.
Yeah.
And like a lot of these guys we're talking about that are good songwriters, like Mr. Cheeks, man, like the Lost Boys had the ridiculous hooks.
Yes.
Like
which a lot of times could make the song.
Earth-shattering hooks.
I think that's also, I think that right there is another thing that kind of holds a lot of the super lyrical cats back from that, because when you're talking about hooks, you're talking about choruses, and when you're talking about refrains and all that kind of stuff,
they spend no time on that.
Well, they don't. Not only do they not spend much time on that, but you're talking about, like, can somebody draw back from what it is that you say? People want to be able to walk away from the song like, I know that song. I know this about that song. This is what he said right here. A lot of that super lyrical stuff that's going on, it's cool to listen to, but it's nothing to take away from it, except that dude is really good at rapping. You know what I'm saying? How can I be a part of that song?
A lot of the times, the hook can bring that together. But I feel what you're saying. I do.
So when I thought about this, you know, you mentioned the ooh-ah, you know, factor of that bars bring, and I tried to. I remember we had a conversation about this a long time ago when it came to comic books. Because initially, when I first started reading comics, I'm following art. Like, man, if it looked dope, I'm buying it. I'm buying it for sure. And sometimes the story just wasn't there, and you were like, "Yo, dude, you want your money to actually mean something in regards to this. Follow the writer. So I've taken that, and that's been great advice. I'm thinking when we talk about lyricists and songwriters, it's almost like movies, where if you're comparing Fast and the Furious to like a Memento or a Usual Suspects, right? The Usual Suspects, dude, I can watch that like right now and be like, dang, that was genius. That was brilliant. Or Memento, like, oh my goodness, did you see what they just did right there? Right. And I think that those are more like, that's a story as compared to like a Fast and Furious. Not to say that it doesn't have any story, but it's definitely more based on the ooh-ah moments that bars bring or that lyricists bring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I always had the analogy, especially when talking about particularly Biggie and Jay-Z, that their first albums were the equivalent of The Godfather and Scarface. You can assess which one is which.
I know, that's what I was about to. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah,
all right.
You can assess which one is which, but when you look at Reasonable Doubt and Ready to Die, it's basically The Godfather and Scarface.
That's
two equally entertaining movies, but the differences are what they are. You know what I'm saying? Two classics, but they're different in those respects. So
they weren't equally entertaining, but I get your point.
Yeah. So we got picks, and I'm ready to get into that.
Let's do it.
Picks.
Yeah, hit it up, James. Since you talking, since you mentioned it, once you tell us who you got on this list.
We got a guess. Let the guest go first.
Okay.
So is he picking writer or lyricist or both?
I think we pick one of each, and I guess
you want to do
one on one.
Okay.
Do both. Shit.
Do both.
Do both. If you
do
got
both.
two, do
all right, cool. So, who I brought to the table as a lyricist And when I say this, I'm not taking anything away from saying that he's not a dope songwriter, but really I'm just saying that he is a ridiculous lyricist. So I would just put him in that category if I had to put him in one. And that's going to be Elzai.
What's his ratio? What's his ratio? If you just had to make it up, what's his ratio?
On the spot.
The ratio.
You ain't got to. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
Did
do.
you hear Vice? Vice was like,
Fuck you, man.
it's
because I'm saying I would say it's maybe like 3-1. Is that reasonable?
Okay.
Yeah.
His lyrical ability, like his lyrics are so ridiculous that he's one of the rare dudes. Like when we talk about, you can't just listen to a cat with lyrics. I can listen to Elzai all day. I can listen to him all day with just.
That's a great pick, man. I'm mad I didn't think of it.
What's the what is the name of that? What's the name of what was the first song he did with Dilla? Come Closer or something like that. Take a look or something.
What's
the name of that joint he did?
I don't know. His first
I know what you're
Dilla?
talking about, but I can't think of the name of it.
Well, if you listen to that song, and this is where this kind of I don't know which one of y'all said it, but
That was a brilliant piece.
Yeah,
that was art right there. That was brilliant.
Let me listen to it again.
But he his rhyme style was more punchline-y, coming into the game, and he morphed into a much better songwriter too.
Yeah, I think that's credit to T3. I think honestly, like the later Slum Village projects.
Yep.
I think the later Slum Village projects brought T3 because man, if you listen like the Manifesto, T3 was going in lyrically, and I think they both just brought it out of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like I think that might be the official last Slum Village project, but they definitely brought it out of each other. So you know what I'm saying? Most definitely. Let's go to somebody else for another lyric.
No, Vice got it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go around twice, but go ahead.
Yeah, Vice, who you got for?
So my lyricist, or not my lyricist, my songwriter is a cat some of you may or may not have heard of. He's an independent artist by the name of Add2 out of Chicago. You may be familiar with you, maybe not. If you're not, this is
not hip
because you need to get hip. He has an album by the name of the Jim Crow the musical that dropped.
I have heard that. Yep.
Unbelievably ridiculous, like the concept. I mean, you can sort of get an idea what the concept of the album is, but he has several albums other than this. But he used to be with Jamla with Knife Wonder and them. But he's independent again now. Listen to the album. Totally ridiculous. But this is a guy where, from the songwriting standpoint, when I'm talking about just setting a mood and just conveying just like a feeling, like you're going to feel some type of way after you listen to this album. So Add2 is my pick for songwriter. So I picked him in particular instead of picking somebody with a big name so y'all can get hip to it. So check out Add2, ADD-2.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
This song that he's playing is called The Secret Life of Blacks, and it is ridiculous.
No, you posted that up on Facebook. I want to say two or 3 months ago, and I remember you did, and I was like, I like the title. Let me check it out. And I remember listening to 3 songs. I was like, okay, I get it. It's solid.
Yeah, shout out.
Sound like some shit I fuck with. Sound was like some shit I fuck with for sure.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
All
right. Let's go to Speedy. Speedy, I need your lyricist, and then I need your songwriter. Who you got?
All right. I'm gonna give y'all room with the lyricist thing, and I'm gonna go. Dang, I didn't even give. Throw Jinx for a loop right quick. Lyricist. I'm gonna go.
Are you gonna go?
I gotta go. Let me go. Black Thought.
Okay. All right. Cool. Enough said.
Ratio.
That's a perfect choice.
Ratio.
Hell yeah, for sure. So many Black Thought stands are gonna piss their pants.
Yeah.
Why you think so?
Lyricist songwriter ratio.
Songwriter? I mean, I don't think he's saying he's not a songwriter, but
Yeah, that's I mean, I think most people are surprised when that dude go ham anyway. So I think people look at him more as a songwriter. Well, but I'm gonna go lyricist because when he mad, it get real nasty.
I think he's developed the reputation now of being the lyricist, though.
Yeah, I think Black Thought is one of those 50-50s, bro. Because I fell in love with the roots, not off the lyrics. I fell in love with the roots just because
The
of
vibe.
the
That's what I'm saying.
music.
When the first time I heard Proceed, I was like, okay, like we vibing now. And then he started rapping, and then like I love MCs that can switch speeds like that.
Okay. Who you got as a songwriter then?
As a songwriter, I'm gonna go Most Def.
Mm.
And this is why I picked Most Def in this category. See, for me, like Most Def, like you could probably transcribe his lyrics and be like, that was pretty good. Most Def got a way of like filling in gaps in songs and like bringing vibe to songs that really wasn't there to begin with. So his whole thing is like rhythm. It's like it's like a rhythm rapper, vibe rapper, but he can rap really good. So there you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Siege, what you got?
For lyricists, we already said him. I think he's the greatest lyricist in the game right now. Royce the 5'9". Me and you have talked about it several times. We've said it a few times. Like Royce is the best out right now. I think he's the best lyricist out right now. He writes fast, he writes a lot, and he writes well. Songwriter, I'm gonna go Kanye West because
I started to say that.
he structures. You could take the whole Late Registration album and see that he was composing entire pieces rather than just songs. He was producing almost like an orchestra type feel. He has an ability of putting songs together. Even if you see him in the studio with Jay-Z while making the Black album, you can see him playing beats for Jay and saying, hey, this should go like this. And then on this part, you could do this. He's structuring the song before it's even written. So I think Kanye is a master at that.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with it.
So you think like a producer has, or somebody who's and somehow involved in production, probably tends to sway over to the songwriter side a little bit more?
Absolutely.
Because as y'all, I don't know, some of y'all may know, the last Royce project is like primarily produced by him. Like he started producing a lot of his own shit, so that might also have a lot to do with the evolution of Royce. So okay. All right then. I'm gonna go on the lyricist pick. I'm gonna go with the rap god.
Him.
Can't go wrong with that.
No.
Casual?
Yes.
Oh my dog!
As
you just made my day.
As you know what I'm saying, some of y'all might know, might not know, a Casual coined rap god years ago. You know what I'm saying? And he actually has a rap god diss, which went way under the radar. But Casual or Hieroglyphics, man, he's just one of those cats that I don't know, like he resonates with me probably more so than he does with a lot of people. But I can listen to his shit, even
He's
though
a huge influence on me. Casual has
even
a
though
huge
like
influence.
a lot of times I don't like the music like that. Like his beat selection has always been like, like
All
I
over the
spent
place.
years waiting for Cash to put out that project with like AAA beat production, with AAA beat selection. I just realized at a certain point, like he's never gonna put that album out. Like I know he does a lot of his own stuff and things like that, but even still, like the projects that I bought and the projects that I have from Casual, they've always just been entertaining listeners just from his voice alone. And I
Man,
can just listen to that shit regardless of the beat. You know what I'm saying?
DMX might be like the only MC on the planet that look like they mean that shit more than Casual. Casual look like Casual just look like I mean every last single word I say. This shit is serious.
I
Cash,
agree.
man.
All right,
I agree.
all right. So
It's on you, Chief.
Get him, Hako. Oh, my bad. Go
I got
ahead.
a song selection. And as far as songwriter goes, anybody that knows me would not be surprised by this selection, but I'm going to go Big Crit,
Oh, okay.
Mississippi's own, one of my favorite artists, period. And if I had to give Big Crit a ratio, it would be 70-30. 70-30, 30% lyrics, 70% just song, production, just emotion, presentation, emotion. Like he's just that good. You know what I'm saying? And I fell in love with his shit straight from the beginning. And it was like, even when he decides to go lyrical, like he has those moments where he could be like, okay, I'm gonna give him lyrics. But it's something that he doesn't feel compelled to do. He does it when he wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? But like emotion wise, like his projects, and you could just like feel what he's saying.
Like for real, dude. Man, what's the name of that joint? Hold up.
First time
I
I
think I know
checked,
what joint you talking about.
first time I
You know
checked
what-
the dude was the joint with Joey Badass. I can't remember the name of that song.
Yeah, he was spitting on that one. That was
That was dope.
one of his straight. I think that was like Static Selector had produced that shit. I know what
I
you're
think
talking
so.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. Cool. Well, Vice, we'll wait for you to come. You keep researching. If you find it, spit it. If you
Dude,
don't, then
If
we'll
not,
just
we
leave it up
believe
to the
you.
viewers.
We believe you.
You hear the keys clicking, nigga.
The keys is clicking. All right. Let me give you mine real quick. Not that anybody cares, but as far as I wanted to do something a little
I
different.
know who you're going with. I already
You
know
I
it.
know the song.
Yep.
I know the song. Go ahead.
You know the song, Vice?
Mixed Messages by Big Crit, one of the greatest hip hop songs
Yeah,
ever.
Dog
Ever.
ass. Yeah.
So you like
My
it.
son sings that song, bro.
All right.
That joint is ridiculous. But there you go. Go ahead. My bad.
Cool. I'm gonna check it out. Lyricist, I'm going Apathy.
Absolutely. I know you are. I could have said that for you.
I'm going Apathy. I think that, and that's not to say that he don't put together good songs, because he
Now,
does songs.
he's lyrically a beast.
He is freaking phenomenal, bar for bar. I've seen him live. I've listened to his tapes. I listened to stuff that he's done 15 years ago, and I'm still like, how the hell did he put all that together and still come out? And that's not to say he don't put songs together, because he could do a song when he need to. But I mean, he makes his cheddar.
When he needs to.
Yeah, when he wants to.
Okay.
You know, when he wants to. When he wants to. You know,
Just-
but I think I think he's App strikes me as being a person who is very strategic with his bars. And what I mean by that is he knows what his fan base wants. He knows what they want. And I think he gives them exactly that. And that's why he's remained consistent. And that's why he's still, go ahead.
He was signed to Atlantic, and that gave him a huge push ahead of some of the other underground artists. But his album never came out. So he started doing his own stuff underground.
Yeah, he's solid. He's one of my favorite, that's for sure. And then as far as songwriters, I know we've already kind of talked about him. I don't think anybody mentioned him, but Joe Budden, to me, is a person, he writes such a good song that he doesn't even need a chorus. Like that, to me, says volumes. All the people that we've mentioned here, in general, all have choruses. Joe Budden makes songs that don't even need a chorus, and it's still like, I want to watch that movie again. Like I want to go through all of those feelings again.
Because a lot of times he's talking about his life, and a lot of times your life don't have a chorus. You just spitting the.
And I think
Joe is
that
one of them.
I'll be writing that down for an album name. That'll be like my album in 2023.
What's
Like,
that?
What is it?
Life doesn't have a chorus.
That's dope.
you heard it here first.
What's the
You heard it
acronym? Hold up, the
here
acronym
first.
is
See in a circle. See in a
doesn't work
circle.
as an acronym.
Can I throw a flag on the play and just tell
I got an
y'all
honorable mention.
who's the best lyricist and the best songwriter flat out that nobody said?
I got an honorable mention.
Yeah,
Fonte from Little
Busta
Brother.
You can be garbs today. You
I
can
think
do that.
I think everybody stayed off the obvious path because they figured everybody was gonna say some of the obvious.
true.
Best lyricist, most relevant lyricist to me in the game right now, hands down, is Kendrick. I
Fonte.
think this guy embodies everything that has to do with
Just knew you were
lyrics.
gonna say Fonte.
Songwriter.
We're gonna have to
songwriter,
have.
you already
Hey,
know who I'm
mark this down, and Vice, you
Yeah,
got to
you-
come back for it. We got to have an episode speaking on Kendrick and Tupac.
Okay,
I want to have some
Drake.
discussions.
Drake.
I'm
Drake is the
okay.
best songwriter. Like, come on, dude. There's no question that Drake
Yeah,
is
We'll have
the
a
best
discussion.
in the world.
I got
Yeah.
questions.
No, Drake should be in the songwriter.
Drake
I
should
totally
be on
agree.
there. Busta
Yeah.
Rhymes should be on there.
Yep.
And lyricist,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Lupe Fiasco for lyricist as well.
Fuji rap.
Well, that's
That's
a
why-
great
Rap.
That's why I got
What
stuff.
ratio would you give Drake?
Say what?
What ratio would you give Drake?
Tell
It's
me,
funny.
don't ask
I
me.
put Drake
giving
in the
Drake.
Tupac category because Drake. No, just hear me out. Drake has a large body of work. He has a ton of songs, just like Tupac did. He has a lot of duds in that catalog too, but his hits stand out so much that he gets to act. So I don't know if he's a phenomenal songwriter or he just writes so much that a lot of these got to hit eventually.
I'm putting Drake 50-50, man. I think he's as dope a lyricist as songwriter.
I think he's a great lyricist when he wants to be. I agree.
Oh, yeah. But he
Yeah.
plays the commercial game. So that's why
playing to the
I'll give him
crowd.
60-40. I'll give him 60-40.
you give him
What about Lil
60-40.
Wayne? What about Lil Wayne before I got to run? Lil
Songwriter.
Wayne.
Lil Wayne's a good songwriter. He's a good songwriter.
He got lyrics too.
Yes,
Man.
he does.
Look,
I think he could.
Yeah,
I
he
think
does, but Lil Wayne gets lazy a lot.
I agree.
He does.
No,
I
he
mean, like,
He gets
He
lazy.
gets faded a lot.
That too. Because of that, I gotta give him like a
54.
56.4,
I'm about to say.
40, 43.6.
Oh God.
Some wild shit like that, man. A lot of people will disagree. A lot of people will stand on Lil Wayne not being able to spit, man.
And they're faded too.
The fuck
And
y'all
they're
talking
faded
about.
too.
Lil Wayne got the innate ability to impress people with really obvious punchlines.
But I tried to be Vice to the point. I thought I could have sworn he was gonna say Fonte. That was gonna be my honorable mention. As far as a
Songwriter.
50-50.
Yeah, he's good.
On both ends.
What about Nas?
Lyric and songwriter.
No Nas?
Nah, the lyrics. Like I
Nas
don't.
is heavy on the lyrics, bro.
Yeah, I
Heavy
never
on the
really liked Nas' song structure. His hooks terrible.
70-30.
Yeah, 70.
70-30.
Yeah, I would give him that.
How can you have a classic album and you're 70-30?
When you got people,
How's that possible?
Right.
Because his
Right.
classic album was before songs mattered.
Shut up. on that
No.
note. On that note.
classic album regardless. That was a classic album.
Yeah.
It was. You can have a classic album of just raw ass fucking lyrics, and that's what it was.
Illmatic was more than that. You lying to yourself if you say that.
Any line to us.
Yeah, you lying to
I'm
us.
not saying that he can't do good songs. I'm saying his talent leans on lyrics.
I agree with
30%.
that. I agree
It's a-
with that.
it's
but
a
I'm just
good
saying,
ass 30.
How do you have a classic album with 70-30 ratio?
You
That don't sound
can. He
possible.
did it.
Because you a
That album wasn't
brand new
70-30.
you a brand
The
new
album
artist.
wasn't 70-30. No, the
That
album
was
wasn't.
You're a brand new artist leaning on
Illmatic.
legendary producers.
Over
Yeah.
time, Nas has proved himself to be a stronger lyricist and songwriter. Over time, and he stole a lot of his shit from Jungle, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now.
I think that's allowed because Jungle wasn't using it. Anyway.
On that note.
On that note.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Please.
Common, I think, is somebody who needs to be compared to Nas. He's sort of anti-Nas.
Vice, I had Nas, Andre 3000, and Common all locked together in a category.
Common always knew how to pick beats, though.
I agree. I agree.
If it wasn't for his beat selection, we probably would have never heard of him.
Agree.
Okay, well, we're gonna have a part 2 of this discussion. It's bound to happen because it's just too many cats that we glossed over. But I definitely set out to pick out 2 cats that people were not expecting.
Yeah, I think that's how it broke down. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Just
I like that.
So people don't start throwing obvious picks at me and shit. Like, yeah, nigga, of course. Yeah, of course.
Jay-Z?
Right.
You ain't think of Jay-Z?
Yo, with all of that, hey, we want y'all to, like, subscribe, comment, do what y'all do. Let us know which cats we missed, what your thoughts are on the subject. We appreciate y'all checking us out today. Mad props out to Vice Souletric for sitting in with us today. Hey, you know where we at. We here. We out. Peace.
Peace.